Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Gabriela. I make videos about astrology, fragrance, self-care, single life. I do vlogs and basically whatever else I feel like talking about. So if that sounds like your jam, please stick around and subscribe. I would love to have you here. Today is another installment in my Venus sign series. I took a little bit of a break the past month because I was doing Vlogmas, and then I took a little nice holiday break for a couple days to just recenter myself and re-emerge in the new year. So we're back at it, and today is Venus in Cancer because I always take votes over on my Instagram. I will link it down below. I post a poll in the stories and you guys get to choose what my next Venus sign video is gonna be. So you chose Cancer, so let's get into it. So if you're a little new to Venus signs, Venus is the planet of love. If you think of Aphrodite, the goddess Aphrodite. So it's the way that we love, but not only romantic love, but also friend love. It has to do with our aesthetics, what we are into. If you think of the signs Libra and Taurus, they're very aesthetically driven signs, also ruled by Venus. Our taste, what kind of art we might be into, how we might even like to dress, or what we find pleasing in other people, and how we deal with our money. And Cancer is a water sign. It's ruled by the moon. The symbol is the crab. And I think that's all I have to say before diving in. The first thing I wrote down, I have my little notes here because I have to gather my thoughts before I make these videos, but the first thing I wrote down is that Cancer, Venus in Cancer is looking for someone who feels like home. And it's so funny, when I do these notes, it's always like the first thing that comes out is really like I hit the nail on the head, I feel. They're looking for someone who feels like home. What does that mean? They're looking for love that is cozy, comfortable, often predictable, warm, cuddly, committed, safe. Now, this can obviously vary because we have to look at the whole chart. So obviously someone with a lot of Sagittarius placements or a lot of Aquarius placements may think that a love that involves the word predictability in any sense is torture and literally a life sentence. So it all depends. But Venus in Cancer, purely that energy of love is stable and cozy, and it's like a big hug. It's like coming into your family home and remembering what that feels like and just curling up on the couch with hot cocoa and a blanket, and you are just the happiest in the world. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, doesn't matter what's going on. You are just like, I don't need anything more than this sweet, cozy moment. So that is what our evolved Venus and Cancer folks are looking for. And I'll get into what I mean by evolved and not evolved later. But, well, I'll say that Venus in Cancer can choose the opposite type of person, an unstable person, someone who is emotionally closed off, who doesn't really like to cuddle, things like that, because they can get caught up, as many humans can, in trying to change the person or saying, I know that there's sensitivity under there, I want to see it. Or they can be someone who sees a lot of emotional instability in someone. You know, if someone is always crying or very, very moody and very emotionally unstable, they can think, I love that because that means that that person is deep and I have to go towards that. And often they might be going towards someone who is unhealed or someone who is just not a healthy person. So they can get caught up in the codependency cycle of trying to change someone or trying to say, dating potential, saying, okay, I know that they don't show me so much sensitivity and they don't really know how to respond when they hurt me, but I know that deep down I can teach them to be sensitive because I know how to be sensitive. So I can teach them what it means to be in this deep kind of love, and I know that it's going to fulfill them and I know that they're going to love it. And that is just, we don't date potential, we date people who are fully assembled. Some things that a Venus in Cancer might fantasize about is definitely playing house, having children with someone. Doesn't mean that they all want children, of course. Marriage, same thing. Doesn't, you know, if you want marriage. Living a life together. Living a life together with someone is a display of love for a Venus in Cancer. You know, if they fall in love with someone, they are going to start dreaming about, you know, the house that they can live in together and what they're going to cook as a couple and just the little daily things that happen. It's not so much like fantasizing about going on grand vacations or, anything else like that. It really is about the home life. The home life becomes a fantasy of, oh my gosh, we're gonna have the best home, and all of our kids' friends are gonna come over, and we're gonna have pizza parties, and my partner and I are just gonna look at each other and know, like, look at our children, they're so happy, and oh God, I love you so much. Like, it's very much sharing a life together, sharing a home together is a major expression of love to a Cancer. It's also security. Marriage and having children with someone offers, some may say it's a false sense of security, because of course we can divorce, we can leave anyone we want at any time, but it offers Venus in Cancers a sense of security. You know, you have chosen me to the point where you have legally bound yourself to me, you are married to me, we have children, we created life together, so obviously even more, you chose me as the person to do that with. I do think that not only is that just naturally pleasing to them, because the moon is a mother, a feminine sign, it's motherly, but I also think that it does offer them security. You know, buying a house together, being married, having children, sharing property together. I think that it offers them security that they look for. So even if the person with Venus in Cancer seems outwardly prickly, because some of them can, right? It depends on what's in the chart. Again, they don't always need to be these like mama type, come to me, I don't care who you are, I'll comfort you. No, I've known some Venus in Cancers to be very prickly, but for those that they love, they will care for them. It reminds me of cater to you, but not in like a, you know, I'm your little servant, but just like, I can't help it. This is me. They will often cook for those that they love. It's really, really actually kind of like a turn on, or kind of a love. It makes them feel all buzzy and light inside to be preparing a meal, and to know that the person they love is going to eat that and enjoy it, and it was made with love. It's very much, Venus in Cancer is very much like make it with love. I have to look into my aunt's natal chart, because she told my mom years ago, you have to make your food with love or else you can taste it. And I'm like, I think she actually is a Cancer. But anyway, very Cancer energy. So even if they have an outwardly tough shell, for those that they love, they will soften, and they will cook for you. They will wrap a blanket around your shoulders. They will turn up the heat for you, literally the heat of the house, put on your favorite movie. I mean, they are in their element when they are offering that sort of almost parental type of love. It's not, the love that they share is not always going to be like, oh, let me do a striptease, or let me do this little favor. Like, it's not stuff like that. They really shine when they are being the homemaker or being the caretaker. And it doesn't matter what their roles are in real life, or their view on gender roles, or anything like that. It's just the act of caring for someone is really, it goes both ways. They give back, and they like your reaction, and they also enjoy how it makes them feel, because they know that they can take care of other people better than almost anybody else. I mean, if you want to feel comforted, get somebody with Cancer in their chart. They will take care of you like you are sick, staying at home, and your mom's taking care of you. They also, a lot of people say water sign placements can be quite psychic. I think definitely intuitive is a great way to put it. I think they really know how to be intuitive about people's needs, anticipating people's needs. I think a Venus in Cancer, I don't know, certain Cancer placements would also make great assistants, because I mean, you've got to have some aspects, some placements that make you organized to be a good assistant, but especially like an assistant for a celebrity, not an assistant in an office. Somebody that gets your coffee in the morning, that orders your food for you, that, you know, just makes your home life easier and just adds ease to your life. Cancer would be great for that. They really do know how to anticipate someone's needs. It's a very, very valuable gift, very valuable skill. And they will also sit with you when you cry. It's very much, when I think of the marriage vow, in sickness and in health, in richer and for all of that, that dedication is very much Venus in Cancer. Whether you're their friend or their romantic love or their family member, they will be with you through the good and the bad times. They're not afraid of you crying. They will hold you while you cry. They will literally wipe your tears. They will sit in emotional discomfort with you, which is very hard to find. They're also hypersensitive. Not only like, you know, when people say about Cancer, like, oh, you cry all the time. Not that. They're like hypersensitive to any little shift that's going on. Like, it reminds me of that meme. It's like, are you mad at me? And it's like, no, why? It's like, oh, in your last text, you seemed a little mad. And all the last text was like, hey, are you home right now? Yes. And the person's like, something's wrong. Very much intuitive, not always correct about it. Sometimes they can be a little anxious and paranoid about that stuff, but they're definitely like, is this person mad at me? They're always kind of gauging the emotional state of other people, which is valuable because a lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, I don't know what's going on with that person's emotional world and it's none of my business. And Cancer is like, no, it's everything. Venus in Cancer can also be loyal to those who don't return the loyalty or those who frankly don't deserve it. It's in their nature to really be loyal pretty early on, to be very dedicated and very attentive. But there can be resentment, absolutely, that develops when they don't feel attended to. They are a higher maintenance placement, and I don't say that meaning anything bad because I'm a high maintenance person too. I expect a lot. I give a lot and I expect a lot. But yeah, they are, you've got to give them a lot of attention. You've got to constantly be having this flow of love and affection and communication in order to have a healthy relationship with them. Because a lot of Venus and Cancer people, they need that, but it's not like they'll break up with you if they don't have that. Some Venus and Cancer people can stay with others that don't make them feel loved, that don't make them feel attended to, or that don't pay them attention, and they become resentful because that's what happens. That's where resentment comes from, is when we have things that we're not saying or we're feeling unfulfilled but we're not doing anything about it. And at the end of the day, it's a harsh reality. It's like, that's on you. That's on you. You either walk away because that's how that person is and you can't expect them to change, or say something, I don't know, but it's on you. You can't just be resentful that people are not who you want them to be. So that's a thing. But of course you're gonna get resentful when you're giving so much and you feel like someone isn't giving back and you already love them. I know it's easier said than done, but it's not a pretty place to be trapped in. They can also be quite moody. Cancer is a passive sign. It can often be passive aggressive. I have my Mars in Cancer, and so I have worked through the past couple years to be more direct with communication, to not be passive aggressive, to try and get people to probe about what might be bothering me. I can't expect people to know that something's bothering me unless I outright say it. And it's hard, but that's something Cancer placements need to learn. Don't pout. Don't use petty little tactics to get people to ask if you're okay. If you want a true mature relationship, you're gonna have to learn how to say, I am not okay, can we talk about it? You know, in friendships, relationships, anything, Venus and Cancer can be moody, mood swingy. You know, they can withhold love from you if they want you to notice that they're not doing well, or that the silent treatment, pouting. They will go out with you somewhere but then be like, I'm fine. Literally nothing's wrong, I'm fine. No, I'm having a good time. And isn't that just the most infuriating thing? So Cancer placements, stop it. Stop. Yeah, they will kind of do little tactics to get you to give them attention. And sometimes they're not always bad. I know Cancer placements, my friend is engaged to a Cancer guy, and he will just come in the room and, like, when we're talking, he's a little competitive. He wants all of her attention. And so when we're talking, he will just come in the room and, like, look at her or do a weird little dance or, like, moon her or something so that she gives him attention, instead of being like, hey, once you get off the phone, could you come watch a movie with me? I need some attention tonight. He is just like being a court jester to try and get her to give him attention. I think also his Venus is in Leo. So he's a Cancer, but his Venus is in Leo, which makes complete sense why he wants the attention. He's appealing for the attention, but he does it in like a showy, goofy, kind of performative way. Venus in Cancer is very much the, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I just think it's funny how, yeah, when they finally get the floodgates to open and then they communicate, you're like, oh my God, why couldn't you have done that? Okay, here we go. Because they're so sensitive, they can also carry baggage with them. And, you know, one would hope that if you enter a relationship or friendship with a Venus in Cancer, that they're healed enough to learn how to let go of that baggage, or at least to not punish you for past baggage, past, you know, trespasses that other people have done against them, or that they don't hide in their shell, because that's another thing that water signs in general can either be really open and really emotional, or they just harden. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. As far as love languages, we always talk in these videos about love languages. Cancer was a hard one to pin, you know, because I think it's all of them. But definitely acts of service in terms of the way that they show affection. They are going to do nice things for you. And it doesn't mean like that you're really good at handiwork and things like that, but it means, you know, bringing you coffee, having a meal ready for when you come over. You know, I'm just thinking about food stuff. Or when you're sick, oh my gosh, honestly, nobody wants to admit this, but Venus in Cancer is gonna get off when their partner is sick. They are gonna love it. I mean, times are different now. It's not so casual to just be sick around people, but you know, if they have a chance to baby you and you have to stay home from work and you're on the couch sneezing and coughing and you need your little heated water bottle filled with hot water and you need a blankie and you want me to put on your favorite movie and I'm gonna make you chicken noodle soup. I mean, Venus and Cancer, I'm sorry, they're in heaven. They're in heaven with that. So definitely acts of service, but I think in both ways, quality time, absolutely, to feel emotionally connected. And physically though, they're not gonna feel loved if you don't wanna touch them and if you don't wanna snuggle them. They are big snuggle bugs when it comes down to it. They might not even be comfortable asking you to cuddle them, but the minute you touch them or wrap your arms around them, they just melt, and it's like, that's what I needed. All I needed was a hug. They're very much gonna be huggers. They wanna hug their friends. They wanna hold their friends. It's a very motherly energy, and some friends might be like, stop, I don't like that energy. So you have to respect that. But yeah. And then Venus in Cancer, I've known as friends, are big gift givers. Not huge gifts, but little thoughtful gifts, just to show that they loved you. Or they'll bring you a little snack, or like, you know, I was at a bakery earlier and I got this for you. Very, very thoughtful in that sense. And what they're expecting is, you know, in order for them to be fulfilled, they need all of those love languages. But they also need to know that you're concerned for them. They need to know that you are concerned about their emotional well-being, their emotional state. It's really nice when you keep up with what's been bothering them, or keep up with what's going on in their life. You know, if they start to mention, if a Venus in Cancer starts to say, you know, the thing at work, and you're able to say, oh yeah, with that guy, I know that the way that you guys had, that interaction you had in the meeting was really upsetting. What's going on with that? And it's like, you remember? Very much important to them for you to kind of be savvy to what's going on in their emotional world, and to be able to walk through their anxiety with them. You know, they don't like to feel like they're being brushed off, or that their emotions are an inconvenience or are scary to you. You might hear Venus in Cancer say, well, I want to show him I care about him, but I don't want to scare him off, because sometimes they date people that's not how they express their love, or they're not comfortable, or it's moving a little too fast, anything like that, which is valid on both sides. But again, date not for potential, date who is in front of you, and clearly you can't be with someone who is like, emotions scare me. And don't make them feel like a burden. As far as money goes, they're not huge spenders, because they're really homebodies. So I feel like, or they can be, they really enjoy being at home at least. Doesn't mean that they can't party, but they either are homebodies naturally, or they have a time in their life where they settle down. They're like big settle downers. So when you don't go out as much, and you're not like maybe a Leo who feels like, you know, Leo placement where they feel like they have to really show out, like they have to look good, and then their partner has to be in all designer, and you have to be going to the best restaurants. Cancer doesn't really feel like that. If a Cancer is gonna splurge on a nice date, it's gonna be, let's get $100 worth of sushi. Let's buy our favorite movies on Amazon, because they're not on Prime, so let's just buy them. Let's rent them. Let's get a really expensive a bottle of wine. Let's do massages, like things like that. It's not gonna be like, let's go out to the most expensive restaurant so that other people can see us. Or it might be if they're not in love. If they've got, you know, Leo placements, showy placements, that might be how they are, but then that's not love. That's just ego and, I don't know, surface level fun stuff. But in general, obviously, if you stay home more, you save more money. So they will spend on creature comforts though, you know, the food and definitely the home goods. Oh gosh, keep a Venus in Cancer out of home goods and Target, because they will spend all of their life savings. pillows and throws and tapestries and this and that. I mean, they love decorating their home. So it's always worth it for them to beautify their home, and they're really good at it too. They're so good at it, naturally. And then random little gifts, they don't mind spending on that. But they're not the kind that's gonna show up with like a brand new flat screen TV and think that this is how I show love, you know? I just keep thinking of food though, bringing you a pastry and a coffee, making you chicken noodle soup when you're sick, things like that. A couple celebrities I wanted to mention with Venus in Cancer because I noticed a pattern. Think about these people, okay? Julia Roberts, Kim Kardashian, Gwen Stefani, Pink. Okay, now, they might not all seem that similar. However, Julia Roberts, to me, is her image. I don't know her as a person. I don't know any of these people as a person, but her image is the girl you bring home to mom. Like, right? When she was in those, in movies when she was younger. Also, I think even in Pretty Woman, the reason that even though sex workers are constantly, like, vilified, is that right? I feel like I'm saying villainized and then autocorrect doesn't recognize that as a word, so I think it's vilified. Yikes. But anyway, painted in a very bad light, especially in that time. I mean, we're way more sex positive, sex worker positive, and aware now. But back in that time when that movie came out, it was not cool. It was like, I feel like, you know, sex work was really, really looked down upon. And somehow Julia Roberts played this role of this lovable young woman that you just root for. And of course she was written really well as a character, but I think her overall look, she just has this open, sweet look to her. Like I just think of the bathtub scene, and that is so Venus in Cancer, so sweet. So Julia Roberts is that girl you settle down with, girl you take home to mom. And I feel like anybody who is attracted to Julia Roberts probably fantasizes about like her taking care of them or cuddling with her, some kind of snuggly thing. Like, she's not like a sex symbol. I mean, she might be sexy to some people, but she's not a sex symbol. She is like, that's the girl next door you take home to mom. It's very much like, it's not completely pure energy, but it is, that's the woman I marry and have kids with, which I think that it's so dumb, right? Like that you differentiate between, but you know, when people think about, oh, somebody I would want to marry and have children with, Julia Roberts was probably a big symbol of that when she was in her heyday. And then Kim Kardashian, okay. Kim Kardashian is a Libra, so she's very into her appearance, blah, blah, blah. We know this. A lot of people don't like that about her, whatever. But she's not a party girl. Like, she doesn't drink. On Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I mean, there are a couple funny photos of her partying and stuff, but she's not into drinking. She's not really into going out. She is a homebody. She says it herself that she's a homebody. She just likes to be at home. I mean, people even call her, I think her sisters call her boring. They're like, all you do is sit at home, blah, 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 blah. She very much is that type of energy. Gwen Stefani too. I don't remember a lot of paparazzi photos of her partying. I mean, she's got a bunch of kids, same with Kim Kardashian, 4 kids as far as I know. And Gwen Stefani has an image, who is also a Libra. Gwen Stefani has an image of being like cool, punky party girl, and yet when it comes to how she loves and how she really is and how she feels her best, I think that's as a mother, that's as a spouse, or you know, in a partnership with Blake Shelton. She's not actually this party girl that's just having meaningless interactions. I don't really know, even when she was super young, she's also so sensitive. I mean, think of how artistically sensitive she is to write a song like Don't Speak. Just amazing. Very gifted artistically, Venus in Cancers can be as well with if they use their sensitivity to create. It's amazing. But she strikes me as a homebody too, actually. You know, she just goes on little trips with her kids and she's just super chill. Pink, same thing. She has the image of like, yeah, like rock on, I'm so tough. And I think she had party girl, you know, some like drug and alcohol stuff, or some, I don't know, she had a rougher teenage time, I feel like. But now she's like totally chill. I feel like she's a homebody too. So you can see that not all Cancer influenced people are like these motherly, like mama energy. They can also be different on the surface, and you learn who they are deep down. Also, fun fact, Bridget Nielsen from, what is it called? She was on that show, Real Life, or something, I don't know. She had a thing with Flavor Flav, and my friend Kira and I have been watching Flavor of Love, and it is crazy. She's a Sun and Venus in Cancer. She is so protective of him. She loves to be like this big energy around him, his mama, and she calls him Foofy Foofy. And like he loves it because he's a Pisces sun. Of course he does. So funny. Khloe Kardashian, another Sun and Venus in Cancer, and she gets hurt all the time because she's one, I think, that picks these partners where she sees potential and she sees a twinkling of sensitivity and she thinks that's enough. She thinks that that's a guarantee for more. I think when it comes to the type that a Venus in Cancer would go for, it's gonna be loving. It's honestly, there's gonna be a bit of a parental vibe going either way. I think deep down, I think Kim sort of parents Kanye, but I also think that he gives her the same thing in return because he dresses her. He does tell her what to do in terms, and she likes that, according to her. You know, emotionally open, communicative, trustworthy, attentive, someone with nice boobs or chest, a protector type, someone who's touchy, someone who accepts their love. And an unevolved Venus in Cancer is gonna go for someone not quite settled, someone who needs to be broken into or broken open, where their emotions are not accessible, but you can see it, it's right there. It's like, no, unavailable. I would suggest you look into attachment theory. It's amazing the way that we attach to other people and what gets triggered in us, and also parent dynamics. I think a lot of people with Cancer placements can get stuck in relationships where it's like, give me attention, and it's almost like what they maybe had to do with their mom or dad. Or they can be with someone that they need to parent because it fulfills this sort of thing. It's like the Virgo thing with needing to fix. It's not always the case, but sometimes. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Venus in Cancer. It's a great placement. They're loving and sweet, and they will care for you like nobody else. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in my next one. Mwah! Bye, guys.